Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video and thank you so much for tuning in. Today I'm out in my little shop and I am banging my head against the wall for the last 3 or 4 days dealing with this right here. The VATS key, the vehicle anti-theft system for the Chipmunk. And I've got a couple of multimeters out here just trying to determine what the resistance is of that chip. Woody and I were in here just a few minutes ago. It took 2 people with steady hands just to line up the tip of the multimeter to that tiny little chip, and it's convex in shape, so it's hard to keep the tip on it straight. So both of us metered this thing out, and we're either going to be looking at, I hope, the 12 or the 1.2. It might be trial and error on that, but nonetheless we have an array of resistors here to try to defeat the VATS in this car. So before we go any further on that, we're going to run out to the garage and see what Woody's up to. We have to do a little bit of wiring and whatnot, or wire repair I should say. As you see in some previous episodes, we had a rat's nest underneath the hood, and I'll show you that rat's nest right now. He's not really a rat's nest, but yeah, that rat's nest of goodies there. So what we need to do before trying to defeat the VATS is actually rewire everything to where the key on the column will talk to the distributor so we can have ignition. We've already determined that the starter looks to be wired correctly, and the little button that they actually put on this thing was just spliced in, so that shouldn't be that big of a deal. So he is doing that repair.
I'm undoing what the doers did before it wasn't done right.
That's right. So we're going to do a little bit of wiring here and see what we come up with. We'll be right back with you. On today's episode, we find out something shocking.
I got a nut.
Okay, so as mentioned before, we are working on some wiring today, see if we can get some power to this old girl. And we did, I hope, figure out the correct resistor to defeat the VATS in the car. It's, we believe, between one of these two resistors here, either the 1.2K or the 12K. But either way, hopefully one of the two is going to actually work for us. So where we're going to get started is right under here, under the dash. And check out this orange wire right here, and that is the wire that communicates the resistance of the chip key to the vehicle's ECU. So we're going to snip this sucker right here. Ow! And there it goes. We're going to unplug it, boom, just like that, and we're going to put the resistor in line here, plug it back in, and that should defeat the VATS, assuming that we got the right one. And while I'm doing that, over here, we're going to take a look and see where Woody is on his progress. So we have a little temporary patch right here for the distributor so we can have ignition, and then we move over here to see where he is actually doing some cleanup on the wiring here and fixing to put this battery in to get out of his way.
Got boat battery for big boat.
And Woody, could you tell him what was going on with the terminals over there? Or the connectors for the battery?
No connection.
Yeah, so what was your discovery that the hot was
See
loose?
this right here? I did that, and I almost broke my arm when I hit this. I wanted to tighten that down, and I figured out most of what we've got going on here. I don't know, but yeah, so now hopefully we'll have a good, nice, tight seal to our probably 80% good battery. We just need it just to turn over to make sure we've got it right, and we'll get a proper one because we haven't decided if we're going here or back there, or we might just make this thing an electric car. You never know.
Oh, that is just sacrilege right there. So yeah,
no, it's not. It's called stirring the pot. I'm not licking the spoon.
What we found out some months ago when this car was actually running and the jerry rig wiring was still hooked up, that when we went to try to start it, the starter was having a really difficult time, and Foolish us, we didn't really check our battery connections very well. I think that might have been the issue, so hopefully that was it. And as Woody mentioned, as soon as we get this VATS loop hooked up, give this thing a try. So what I'm going to do here, and most of you that are familiar with these cars and this process, is I'm going to strip back this wiring, and then we're going to tie in one of the two of these here and just do a loop. Once we determine it works, then we'll solder everything up with some solder seal connectors, and then tape it up with some electrical tape and button it up underneath the dash with a zip tie. So be back with you. Okay, so Woody looks like he's about got the batteries hooked up and situated for it. Oh, careful now, safety first. And then I've taken our first resistor candidate and just temporarily, as I mentioned before, spliced it in here to this plug, and I'm gonna go under here and plug it into where it belongs. Fingers crossed, this will take care of our little issue. So I gotta set you down while I do this, and I'll be right back. So we're back. And here's the shocking news. It's not so shocking.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. None of them work, my friends.
So
maybe we don't have power.
I don't know, but to better explain what he's talking about. So we had approximately 10 packs of these resistors, all different kilo ohms, ranging from 2.4 all the way up to 12, and we tried every single one of them on the VATS defeat, and we think that we don't have power coming up here to the key. So this is where you guys are coming very handy, I hope. Leave a comment down below what you think this might be. What is our issue? What is really hanging us up?
And I don't want to hear because someone screwed it up. I figured this one out on my own.
Indeed. So we're kind of back to square one on this, scratching our heads. Woody nor I are Sparkies by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, I'm shocked really well.
Yes, indeed. So I did go under the dash, and I used a multimeter to see if I could do some voltage check to see if we do have power. There was one red wire down there that didn't give me a voltage reading, but it did arc when I touched the multimeter tip to the terminal. So we got a little digging around to do. And again, guys, please help us out here. We need it. If anybody has run into this before, if you can give us any tips, please leave a comment down below. Our email address is also located in the About section of our channel. So if you would rather privately send us a message or some information, that would be fantastic. It is jibs, JIBSYTC @gmail.com. We would greatly appreciate it. But for now, I think we're going to wrap this one up because it's a little frustrating. We are not beaten yet, and we're going to keep persevering. I don't know what the heck he's doing down there. What a mess.
Come on, man. Show me why you don't want to work.
Well, needless to say, progress is progress. Leave a like if you like this video. Appreciate you sticking around for the end of it. And please subscribe. Remember, we have our sweepstakes coming up every 250 subscribers. We're going to give away something to one of you guys, and it'll be pretty cool. So hang in there with us. Help us out. We greatly appreciate it. Love you guys.
Bye. Only question would be, we've got this little key in here that's going to supposedly run to the ECU. I don't think anything's cut there. I mean, the only thing I can think of is that we've still got something that they wondered if we did to bypass that they cut that we hadn't figured out yet that might be underneath here. Other than that, oh, football's only like 84 days away, so punt.